Good, hello, people. Welcome to my channel. If you're watching this movie, you're on YouTube. You were doing some research somewhere, and you found um, one of my videos, and you watched it, and thought it was great. Again, hit that like and subscribe. There's always those thumbs got to go up. Um, I'm gonna continue to do this until for you guys just to learn how things work. And again, it's my passion to do what I do. I don't just do it for the hell of it. I do it for the fun of it, and I do it for the accomplishments that I receive, and the comments that I receive from people when I'm helping them and they're helping them succeed for their future and kind of get them to where they want to be. So in the world of Microsoft Windows 11, we were introduced yesterday with hit with a big release with the 24H2. Again, I'm Sal Cosentino, your systems architect and trainer for In Production by Ink 2. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Windows 11 24H2. We're going to talk about it, talk about the requirements, the life cycle, and whatnot, and watch me as I build my own um, environment from scratch, and we're going to download it and install it on one of our VMs. So hang tight, and let's get to it. So Windows 11, again, it started back in October of about 3 years ago, uh, when it was first released. So we had codename Sun Valley 21H2. That was released October 5th, 2021, and then succeeded by the next version, 22H2, which was released a year later, September 20th, 2022. And then again succeeded over to the 23H2 version, which was the 20,023. And then the second half, that's what H2 means, it's just the second half of the year, so half the quarter of the year. Uh, but again, they release it in October. I'm not sure why they do that, but anyway. And that was also called Sun Valley 3. And again, 24H2 is now released. It was released yesterday. So I've gone ahead and created this video for you guys to kind of take a look at how that works, what it's about, and let's create some documentation on it. And hopefully we'll install it with you together. We'll create that machine that you've always wanted, and we'll create it. So um, let's talk about again Windows 11. It's just a Google search away. You're ready to upgrade. You want to look at the system requirements. This is very important when you're coming down to system requirements. And again, your system requirements, right, are very important when it comes down to the um, prerequisite checks. So we'll call this a prereq. System requirements. Right. So we need to be aware that our system requirements are important. Okay, this a little bit. Oh, let me make this a little bit bigger. All right. So we need to ensure that we have at least a gigahertz. Again, when we're looking at the hardware requirements, we look at the processor, right? We look at the memory. We look at the processor. Things to look at. Things of importance, right? So we need to look at that few things, and we're looking at the processor. um, of the machine, and it should be a at least 1 GH gigahertz or with two or more cores, right? And then we're looking at the RAM. Um, so the RAM, we're looking at a minimum of 4 GB to install this, right? And then we're looking at storage. Storage, we're looking at least 60 minimum of 64 GB or larger storage device, right? And then we're looking for our system firmware, right? That includes again UEFI, secure boot, again, uh, right? And then we also have our TPM chip or TPM 2.0 chip, which is also important. And I'll show you guys how to add that onto our machine. Then we're looking at our graphics card, right, or GPU. That's compatibility. So it must be compatible again with DirectX. I think I talked about DirectX, but um, wrong. So if we're looking at what DirectX is, we talk about um, right. We talk about the different drivers, um, and in terms of graphics card sound. So you'll note that you'll see that occur um, with the different WDDM 2.0 drivers. So as long as the compatibility is there, and we're gonna create a machine. It's okay. And we're looking for that with DirectX, and I'll talk about DirectX. We're looking for display, and again, um, and important as well too is an internet connection. So we'll ensure that our machine has an internet connection. So in my design, uh, when we open up an existing device here. So so when we're drawing, yeah, we got different layers here. Okay. So I need to add um that. Okay. Okay. So that's good. That's good enough. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, so we're looking at the specific machine, and I want to freehand. There it is. Okay. So let's just get the pen here. Let's draw that out. So we're looking at our machine, right? Where we're an admin connecting to our Workstation Pro, or can also be a Oracle VirtualBox. And what we're eventually trying to do here is draw with a red pen. My red pen, there we go. Just a little bit better here. All right. So when we're looking at the make this a little bit thicker. So when we're logging into the system, right, we're creating a bare metal machine, right? So this bare metal machine needs to be uh, a machine that's ready for that. And when we're talking about the different hardware and software locations, especially when we're talking about the different, we have our memory, our processor, our hard disk, our CD, uh, CD, DVD, SATA drives, our network adapters, our USB controllers, our sound card, our display card, our display, and our trusted platform module, which is our TPM. Um, these are what play an important part in when we're designing our specific Windows 11 with 24H2 version on it. So we need to ensure that we have adequate enough resources for it to power on one and for it to do its work so that we can go ahead and install it. So we will do that. We will create that machine. We'll create a blank machine on our Workstation Pro, right? So we will create a new machine, and just in case you haven't done so, I've done so here in our lab. So again, I'm going to create just a typical machine, and I'll install the operating system later. Again, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to create the Windows 11 64-bit. Again, the guest operating system is the Windows 11, and we're going to click next. Um, I'm not going, again, I have to connect my drive. So I have to connect my drive in order to save that. But again, I can also save it on the C drive, right? Which is what we did in the past. And again, if we go here, um, what do I got? What do I got left? Let's see what I got left here. I think I gave myself 200, but I think I'm shooting myself in the foot here. I only have 42 gigs left here. So let me see if I can reconnect this machine again. Let's do that first. I need to connect this machine first. So, so this machine has to have storage, and I need that storage, right? So we're gonna go ahead and enable that storage and enable all of them. Always enable all of them, and again add those two locations again, and um, we're gonna add that, and then hit OK. Okay, so we're gonna click next, and then finish, and then remove this and this. And then remove. Okay. And then click OK. So I should now have a shared folder in there where I'm going to store my. Remember, we're storing um, when we're storing specific paint here, right? We have our machine here. It's going to be our machine. Okay. And it's gonna have a hard disk, right? And it's gonna have a NIC card here, physical NIC card, right? That's gonna hold, right? So that right there is gonna, um, it's going to have the information that we need. It's gonna hold all that information, right? So I don't really typically wanna, when I'm creating that VMX file and those, virtual machine files, uh, our initial intent is to save it on a shared disk, right? In vSphere vCenter or LUN. We call it a LUN, right? So typically all the VMX files and all the files, template files and snapshot files, et cetera, et cetera. And I think I spoke about this in an earlier video. Typically what we do is we install everything in our OS. So that includes our OS and whatever files and data we want to save in here. In a test environment, it's okay as long as you have, like, I recommend 500. Like I would create one with 500, especially in I should have. I know I had 250 here, but or 200, sorry, but I'm going to uh, I want to leave this just with the operating system and nothing else. So in this case, common sense prevails that you just create a hard drive, right? So my hard drive one and my hard drive two, right? So common sense prevails, says, hey, you know what? Let's create another disk and create a RAID or uh, initialize the disk and make that disk online and format the disk to whatever you want and use that as a storage, right? But in VMware, these disks are sort of like our physical disks. So make it like you have to kind of understand like it's sort of like our physical disks. So when we're creating disks, they're physical, and all the data that's inside of it is physical on the disk. So anything that happens to the disk, it's gonna crash, and we're gonna lose that data, right? But the best thing about the virtual environment is we won't lose uh, those thin provisioned um, settings and site that well, because we set up the thin provision, right, or instead of or thick provision. Again, it's up to you. But in this case, we were able to we can now transfer those files from here to the LUN, right, in chunks of 4 GB, which helps us a lot when we're doing that specific thing. So because they're thin provisioned, thin provisioned, change the color here. Oh, so again, this here is thin provision, right? So it's got small little chunks of 4 GB files, which is okay. So typically it would be saved here, but we don't want that. We just want the operating system. So I typically just want the operating system, right? I don't want anything else. Just a little bit bigger for you guys to see, right? So as let's just do this again. So, we have the operating system, right? And then on top of the operating system, we can install our applications. So this is where we're going to install our applications, right? But again, our main goal here is to create the disk locally first. So we're going to be creating when we're um, designing our our machine, right? It doesn't create a disk, right? And you'll see that it doesn't create the disk. Once we create the machine and we accept it, it'll save all the configuration files, right? Into a specific into whatever drive you want it to. If you do not have space on your laptops, again, I know a lot of your, you won't have that laptop, um, you know, you have that laptop. Uh, Grab that, sir, and go back to my design here. So, you have that laptop here, right? And then all the work you're going to be doing typically is from the laptop. So all the information that you're saving is you're saving it on your physical drive, right? So this is known as your physical drive, right? It's not a virtual drive, it's a physical drive, right? So that kind of acts like your physical drive, right? And that physical drive, right? So that physical drive will have we call it C, right? Right. So that's your physical drive, and then this will be your physical NIC card, all right? And then it would be Ethernet 0, right? Okay. So just remember, this is not a hypervisor. This is going to be a virtual machine, right? That we're going to be designing, and that's going to have all the settings and prerequisites, like we spoke, um, and we're going to make sure that those are actually and these are actually met. So We need to ensure that we have this, we have our display, we have our graphics card with DirectX, and I'll show you what DirectX is. On my Windows 10 machine, we have a TPM chip, system firmware, storage, minimum of 64 or larger. We're gonna have a RAM, and I also want to make sure that I have a shared folder because this is not a prerequisite that Windows or Microsoft tells us, but my shared folder is going to act as a storage or shared disk or LUN, right? And vSphere, v vSphere, um, VMware, uh, uh, in our vSphere client, that's what we're gonna see, right? So we're creating multiple disks across each hypervisor when we create those virtual machines on the hypervisor, right? So those hypervisors will act as a LUN, and that's a different story. That's a different set of fans, right? So this is sort of like a physical bare metal machine. So it's got no operating system right now, right? With a physical C drive that's got one disk. So our other machine has two disks, right? So we'll have 200, right? And then we'll have our shared folder, which will have the more space, right? Again, I'm going to create a physical drive with 500 GB in this machine. I don't have to because my Windows 10 is what's hosting the nested environment where I'm creating that nested virtual machine within Workstation Pro on that Windows 10. So we're creating on my Windows 10 machine. So I have a Windows 10 machine, right? So I hope you guys understand what's going on here. If you look at it through my eyes, I've got a Windows 10 machine client and I'm running the Workstation Pro application, which is our enterprise application, and I'm nesting the virtual machines within it, right? Just be aware that that's what's going on and that's what we're doing and we're on the same page here. So just remember, this is all done on a Windows 10 client. Yeah, right. So think of this as your laptop, okay? This Windows 10 client, but mine's a VM, right? Or you can have a server or a SAN or whatever. So think of it as your laptop, right? So this is sort of like your laptop, okay? Your laptop is going to be that Windows 10 machine. It's going to have that physical drive. So it could be 500, it could be a terabyte, it could be whatever you want, right? It can be whatever you want. But in this instance, we're going to create on top of that, on top of our enterprise app, which is Workstation Pro, we're going to create this virtual machine with, as a bare metal. So this is going to be a bare metal machine. This is our bare metal right now. It's got no operating system. Machine, no OS. Okay. So remember that when you're talking about right, we're not it's a virtual machine, but a bare metal machine with no OS. Okay. Right. We're gonna think of it as a bare metal, which is a physical. It's just a real thing, right? With no OS. And then on top of that, we're going to install our applications, right? So we're going to install our operating system in this one, and it's going to be Windows 11, right? Oh, sorry, 24H2, 24H2. So that's going to be our operating system for today. We're going to have one physical NIC card. It's going to be our Ethernet 0. I can use VMnet Virtual LAN 8, or I can use, again, um, NAT, right? As long as I have NAT, right? I'm not going to set up static IPs, so no static IP. This will be strictly DHCP, right? So I'll be getting the DHCP from that, from the public IP addresses that they have. And again, that'll provide, which will provide internet, right? So I'm going to make this a little bit slower here. All right. So, um, again, Please understand, uh, when we're going through this, you know, I'm on a laptop, me as the admin. I am, I'm logging into this is my Windows 10 environment or laptop, right? So within that, I'm hosting my enterprise application, um, Workstation Pro, right? And within my Workstation Pro, I have a Windows 10 machine client, right? My Windows 10 machine client. And within my Windows 10 machine client, we have our enterprise application, and we're creating that nested environment with it. Again, there's no issues whatsoever with the machine. But again, in the machine that I created in our last lab, again, I typically give it about 200 to 230 GB. I can give it 150 just to save space. It all depends on your environment and what you have, right? So for 8 GB laptops, again, it doesn't matter what size laptop you give it, right? You can give it as long as it won't use all of it, because um, you're not installing data. You're just installing an operating system, right? So just ensure that you have uh, adequate enough space. So if your disk is 512 MB, again, yeah, you can use 200 GB. It doesn't mean that you're going to use that full 200 GB, right? Right? You can use whatever you want out of it. It doesn't matter, right? And again, this is going to have um, this is this is going to be um, again NTFS, right, which is our file system, right? And in a virtual environment, we're using VMFS, right, on our hypervisors. So if we're installing um, virtual machines on a hypervisor, we call that VMFS. So we have our NTFS, which is again on top of the operating system. This operating system is going to be um, created. So we're going to create a base machine right now with no operating system. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and do that right now. Okay. So let's create a bare metal machine together. All right. So this is the best. This is the part that we want. And then we're gonna go ahead and download Windows 11 24H2. All right. Download it. All right. So we're going to browse the internet for Windows 11 uh, download, ISO download, right? ISO download, right? We are going to download. Um, there's something. So when you're downloading, um, when you're downloading the operating system, it's called the media creation tool. So we're going to be downloading the media creation tool, right? Which will create our ISO image as an ISO, or you know using a USB thumb drive, right? So in this instance, we will be using um, we will be creating just the ISO, then um, you know copying the ISO to a shared location, then then mounting the ISO to our CD DVD of the virtual machine. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Again, let's create that machine. Let's create that bare metal machine together. Um, So using the specific prerequisites, right? Following the system requirement. But before I do that, I do want to explain what DirectX. I'm sure you guys remember Direct DX Diag, uh, right? So um, this will check if our drivers are digitally signed. And that's basically a hardware requirement that where they digitally sign, where drivers must be digitally signed. You guys remember the CrowdStrike incident where they talked about the different issues that happened and that the drivers were, if they knew the drivers were digitally signed, um, right? And that's was one of the issues why what happened there, and I guess it wasn't digitally signed. So to check the driver's Windows might connect to the internet. So we have internet on this machine, so this is sort of like our Windows 10 machine, but it's a virtual machine that we're creating, right? So this is sort of our physical laptop, we'll call it, right? You're going to have a physical laptop behind here, and honestly you have to create a virtual machine in order for you to understand. It must be an enterprise evaluation, right? Or pro. So, but it doesn't send personal information to your computer. So we're going to go ahead and run the diagnostic tool. You should have version 12 installed. If not, we can download it. It's just online. Again, I think I have, I don't know what version I have, but again, it has the system information, display, sound, input, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? So it needs to be up to date with what you have. And again, a version is 12. So we're up to date, and this is checked for WHQL digital signature. So we're good to go. This is what we need. So we need to ensure that's ready. If it is not what it is, or it's older, then we need to go and um, make sure that we download that properly, right? For the specific version of your um, machine. So in this case, this will explain to you how we open. And so I'm going to copy this here and paste that as a good read, and hopefully um, this is kind of our how to um, open and run the xtag, right? Um, you know, so in Windows 10 and 11, it's the same thing. Again, the tool is used to collect info about the devices to help troubleshoot problems with DirectX sound and video. All right. Um, So in Windows, we select Start and enter dxdiag into the search box, or even again search or run, or Windows S, right? So we have Windows S, so that'll run our search, or we can run and then save that information there. Okay. If we need to download, let's see, download. So fix tool download, right? Um, Here's the community website that'll have it for that specific version. So you know, there is a link for that. We just click on the link and then download that. So here's the and that there you go. There's my file, so I can open that and um, run as admin and then install it that way. I'm not going to install it, but if you do need to install it, it's there for you guys to use. So I'm going to copy this link for you guys, and I'm going to paste it here in our presentation. So this will be our notes that I like to create. Um, Windows 10, and again, this is all information that I like to hold in case I like to troubleshoot and stuff and whatnot. So again, let's create that machine. I downloaded that just to show you what that means. If you do not have version 12, um, you know, make sure you check the version of DX tag, right? And ensure as a prerequisite, and ensure that the version is 12, right? Um, so again, make sure that you know the what each thing is and what each thing does, and UEFI and Secure Boot. I think I spoke about that in an earlier conversation. Make sure to check that out. Um, and we talked about all this stuff here. So let's go ahead and create that. Um, so we're gonna browse the internet for Windows 11 download ISO. So we're gonna go ahead and open up a web browser and just type it in. It doesn't matter. ISO, right? And we're gonna open up our Windows 11 Microsoft, and we are going to create the Windows 11 installation media. So this is best for, like we said, we want to create a bootable USB or DVD. So we're going to use this option to download and create the media tool. We're not going to use the assistant again. And again, if um, if your laptop is a Windows 11 home, um, you can't don't install it on your system that is not Windows 11 compatible. Ensure that you have a Windows Pro edition machine, sort of what we're going to be creating now, or an enterprise machine, so that way you can install the software, the trial software. And again, there's videos on how to do that if you want to. So ensure that you are creating the Windows media, Windows 11 installation media, and not using the installation assistant, right? So this will go ahead and before you begin, we have to make sure that the device qualifies for an upgrade, right? So these are specific things that we need to look at, and we talked about that specific um, architecture, system type. Again, just type in system info, right? Sort of what we did, or just type in DXDiag. That will have all your information as well too. Again, and then here's the instructions on how to create that media tool, or sorry, how to use the media tool creation tool to create the installation media. So this will show you how to do it, but again, we are going to do this together. Now if you have a Surface device, again, the Surface device can be downloaded on the Surface page, right? So before, it's a good idea to save your work, which is really 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 important, and back up your PC before you start. It's just an empty machine we're going to install it on. We're not going to install it on our physical machine. We're going to install it on our VM physical machine, right? Or bare metal. So again, we're going to attach the USB flash drive or insert the DVD if we want to do it that way. But in this case, we don't need to. We're just going to create the ISO, right? So you're more than welcome to try them out on your own time. So we're going to download this now, and this is going to download the creation tool like I showed you, and I'm going to open the file, right? And before I do so, I want to ensure that my uh, did I? Yeah, I enabled it. Okay, good. So I want to make sure it's enabled and I map it. So this is going to create that tool. Notice the notices and license terms. Just scroll down, read it if you want. Consumer rights, variations, you know, et cetera, all important stuff. Not really important, but again, take the time to read it if you want to. So accept that. And I want to, again, you can also create the disk image ISO for 64 devices. Again, you can create the multi-edition ISO device too as well. It's up to you. Doesn't matter. Um, Again, we can create this or confirm the specific English license and then confirm that. Right. So you can download when those are verified. Right. So we can verify that and get the hash. Um, and that'll get um, our hash signature, our SAH, and that'll give us our hash code. So we can open up we can open up PowerShell and run that specific command. I like to use ISC. It doesn't matter what you use. So this one is in our downloads folder. Again, I'm going to copy this over. I'm going to copy these 3 files over to our shared folder. And I want to paste that, but I'm going to rename the location as to where it's downloaded and verify that as well too. So let's wait till this finishes. And we're installing. So in this one here, we're going to choose the language type. We're going to choose the edition and then click next. And then we're going to use the ISO, right? So we'll burn the ISO file to a DVD later. It's up to you. Or create a USB flash. Remember, the USB flash has a minimum of HEB. And I'm going to save it on um, I'll save it on the C drive. It doesn't matter. Um, and I have VMware tools, so I should be able to copy that. So I'll save it in a temp folder. And this is going to be our Windows 10, 11, 24 H2, 64, right? And I'm going to save that. And this is being saved on my Windows 10 virtual environment. So this is downloading the Windows 11 setup, right? And we're also downloading the disk image, right? So we're doing 2 downloads. It's up to you. Again, I'm creating this installation media, and then I'm also creating the disk image ISO for XO. So this is basically an option for users that want to create bootable media or just create a virtual machine ISO to install to Windows 11. This is just a multi-edition ISO, which uses your product key to unlock the correct edition, right? So um, just remember, it just came out yesterday. So the ISOs for ARM64 devices will be available in the incoming weeks. I think I have um, that information here. No, not yet. So it's probably in the Wikipedia life cycle there. So I have um, that information for you, and I'll post that in the chat. Here we go. I have that here. So let's take a look at ARM, if there's anything to do with ARM here. ARM, right? So it doesn't really tell us exactly when it's coming out. Uh, but again, it looks like based on our website there, I'll have some more information for you. I don't know off the top of my head. I'll have to double check. I'm not going to spend too much time. Oh, again, they are going to create it. And let's see if there's anything else. Doesn't say the date version here, but ARM, no, it doesn't really tell you. So that's okay. Again, they announced Copilot Plus Pre-C on Windows 11 machines back in 2024. Um, so I guess they're still in the process of explaining when in the next, so it's probably gonna come soon. So keep an eye out for that. Um, so create either or, it doesn't matter. But again, I like to create both. And then I'll copy that over. I'll copy that over, paste that over, or move that over to the um, so this is almost done here too. So we're gonna wait for this to happen. Um, right, right. So before installing it, again, the three options showed you two to try. This is again the 24H2 version. All right. So this is the new version that was just released yesterday. Um, so again, if you got a Windows 10 machine, laptop, and you just want to install it, just use the installation assistant on just a bare metal laptop. Just you can use that, but I recommend creating the ISO for this instance because we're doing it on a virtual machine. Everything's going to be virtual here. Okay. This is still running. This is completing its 30%. So we'll be right back, and I will let you know when this is done. Okay, so I also want to make sure that you can even download the enterprise editions with the licensing. And again, we can sign into uh, these different sites to show you if you have a subscription on Visual Studio. If you're a developer portal, you can download, you can sign into the portal, and right, that's one option. That's another option that we can try. You can download those. Um, you can download those. So I don't have. I gotta create my account. So I can download my specific subscription keys here if I want to. And so the Visual Dev Essentials will give us some great benefits, right? And it'll give us a free Azure account with $200 credit. So this will periodic communications with latest trends, news, et cetera, et cetera. So once we click confirm, um, we'll have all the benefits of Dev Essentials. And within Dev Essentials, we activate our learning, LinkedIn Learning for free for a month. I'm not going to do that now. Um, no, I can get our popular downloads. I can download Windows 11 here, right? Download the specific version that I want, right? With specific keys, okay? Right? If I have the keys there, I get product keys. I can get subscriptions, et cetera, for the specific environments and for developers. And then I also have my subscriptions, right? So I have my subscription, it's free. I can use this subscription. I just need to activate it, and then I can log into my Azure environment. I'm not going to do it now, but again, you could try that out on your own end um, and do it that way. So that's another way to do it, right? You can download our Visual Studio Code here for developers, right? And download the agents, right? And so if I want to download the specific version, I can download that and have the keys for it, right? Create a custom key. So this product is offered on the subscription level as a trial only. Again, we go to the marketplace and um, you know, buy the specific subscriptions as per whatever you need it to be, right? So please make note of that. Very, 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 very important. So um, I will give you guys that info here, right? And then we can also use the admin center. And I think it's with E3 and E5, it gives you the Windows 11 and 10. And I know in my Intune class, I show you guys um, how to activate a Windows 10 or 11 machine based on the licensing, right? So, um, right, so you can add a product or go to the marketplace and purchase the license based on that. So, I think um, if I go to Windows 10 or 11 or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. So let's go here. So these are the licenses that they have. So these would be the licenses, right? And we can try those licenses, and this will give you 60 days, right? This will give you the 60 days with the specific, um, or you can purchase it if you want. But if you do want to try it out, again, it'll give you um, the specific information, right? So let's make this a little smaller here. Right? So this will have all that included apps and what it's there for and what it's used for. So this will give us a license. So it builds the Windows 10 11 Pro, and then we can activate the license on that machine. I use this for the Intune course. So another topic, but again, licensing. Just use the trial for now, and take the options, the different options you want to use. All right, so this would be licensing, right? Um, did I copy it out? Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna go back. Okay. So click, and I don't want to, just need this links, right, to copy, and then go back here, and again, paste. I need the links. Okay, I need the links. So I'll have to go back to that machine. I think it was, yeah, right here. So okay, because I'm on the machine. So again, you know, copy and then again paste. Yeah, see, it's not copying and pasting the links. That's okay. So like I said, you know, just know that it's when you're here at the bottom of the page, you'll scroll down, and again log into admin center, which is what I did to download the enterprise editions, which is what we did. And again, I'm showing you one specific product, and this will provide the licensing for that, and the different features that it has and what it's used for. So following this legend here, this will explain all that. If you want to buy it or try it, you can try it, and the quantity, amount of licenses, and whatnot. So if we go back to that again, we can also do, um, we can use the business cloud PCs if we want, but or we can download the E5 licensing as well too if they have it. I think they have it. I'd have to double check those E5. Should have it. Again, if I go to licenses, I do have it. So I have the um, E5 No Teams license, which includes uh, it's called Microsoft E5 license. So that includes the Windows on it already, right? Um, so there you go. And that's that. So if I go to, so let's go back to the downloads page here. We have that set up again, three different ways to download it. Um, let's check to see if our downloads are complete. So yeah, our downloads are complete. What about this one? Yes, so this one is ready to go. I burn. All right, so I can burn this and just burn this to a DVD, burn the ISO to a DVD if I want to. So I'm just gonna make sure that this cleans up here first. And okay, wait. Sure. So there you go. Okay, so um, I've already downloaded it, but again, it doesn't really matter. I downloaded it already. So this is the uh, so I'm going to cut this and I'm going to add this to my shared folder here. Right click and paste. Yes. Okay, so let's go ahead and make the machine now. So let's go ahead and make that machine. I'm going to minimize this. I don't need this anymore. Use this. Okay, that a little bit bigger. go ahead and create a new virtual machine. All right, we're going to create a typical. I'm going to choose, I will install the operating system later. Again, I wanted to create with a blank hard disk. I don't want to just install it right away. I wanted to create a blank disk. No, I'm not going to use other options. You'll see why later I want. This is what we want. We're going to use the latest version, right? Windows 11, and it's a Microsoft Windows guest operating system. I'm going to click next. And in this machine, we are going to give it 6424H2. And then we'll give it today's date, October 2024. And we are going to change the location to F, right? Or sorry, or Y location, right? So we will do that. All right. So, if it understands what our Y is, if we do have it, if not, then we'll have to um, locate the network or transfer it over to the network. So this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go to this PC. It looks like it's not reading this yet, right? So it doesn't know where to save it. So um, doesn't want to read okay, there it is. Okay. So let's open up this, right? And we'll put it in clone, right? And in clone, and we'll create a new folder. And then this is going to be um, see Win 11 24H2 and 24H2, right? And it's going to be Canadian data center, right? For data residency. And it's going to be October 2nd, 2024. And I click OK. And then we're going to click next. And we're going to generate that. We're going to copy that and then click next. And I'm going to put it in the notepad. And I'm going to paste that here. That's going to be my, I'm going to give. So we talked about design. Again, this isn't going to be, again, I'll just give it 200. I'm not going to save anything but the OS on there. I should have in my Windows 10 client machine up here. I should have gave it 500 for space wise. Again, we're not going to really use the space. Just make sure you have enough space on your, we're saving it to the configuration files, the VMX files, snapshot files. We're saving them somewhere. So we're saving them on as a thin provision disk in 4 chunks on the physical hard drive, right? In vSphere and hypervisors, we're saving they're called vdisks, and our vdisks, our virtual disks, have VMFS file system. But in this case, and then they're going to be running Photon OS in hypervisors. So our ES6i hosts run Photon. I'm not sure if you ever heard of it. So this is for VM. So hypervisors, VMware hypervisors. We use Photon OS, right? Right. So I'm going to highlight that. I'm just going to give it black. So understand the concept here, right? But for this one, we're going to be using Windows 11, right? Okay. So just remember, know the difference between VM Hypervisor OS and what the Windows 11 OS is. And again, the virtual machines that are stored on these LUNs or shared disks, right, also have disks here as well, and those are called vdisks. Okay, these are called vdisks, and they're stored on the LUNs. Again, I have a course for that. It's a full course. That's actually a full course. I do teach full courses. Please feel free to um, email me or message me on WhatsApp for more details. So, so, so this vdisk sits on the LUN, right? So it sits on a hypervisor, right, which sits on a LUN, and that's where typically all the files should be saved, right? All the important files, like I noted last time, right? So that right there is see if I can find a better. There you go. So all these files here, right? The local virtual machine files. So those files are um, should be located there. Okay, and not on your physical disk because it does take up space. And if your physical disk crashes, so if your physical disk crashes, right? If it crashes, what do I mean crashes? Like it just crashes, right? You lost you lost your all those files that you needed. Whereas on a virtual disk, you're saving that. You have copies on multiple hypervisors. If that disk goes down, you have a passive machine. All right, you have an active or a passive machine hypervisor, right? So one is an active, one is a passive. So if the active goes down, the passive becomes active, right? And it synchronizes between the two. So this will synchronize between this and this, right? Very, very, very straightforward. Again, and the LUNs are shared across each hypervisor, and within that hypervisor, it uses Photon OS to create the virtual machines, right? So, um, not important, but kind of understand where I'm coming with this. Um, right? I'll give you guys a copy of this as well too. So I'm gonna copy this. I want you guys to take a copy of this here. That you guys have this. I'm going to take a copy of this. Sorry, guys, a sticky keyboard today. Sure why. We'll take a look at that after. Okay, so probably change keyboards there. But again, um, understand where we are coming from when we talk about this. Oops. I'll just put here. So this is very, very important because we talked about this and why we talked about this and how this is going to happen. So let's go ahead and create our machine. We're just going to give it 200 right now. I don't want to use it as storage. It's not going to be storage. Again, uh, we're going to store this virtual disk as a single file to try it out. Again, splitting the virtual disk, like I mentioned before, makes it easier to move virtual machines. Actually, you know what? We're going to split it because I want to move it to my shared folder. So right now, this is going to actually, no, I don't have to move it. So this is a stored folder, which is going to be stored on my Z drive, um, where I'll have a copy of that. So right now I have 4 GB, which is our minimum. I have our NAT for internet, and I have at least one CPU. In this instance, I think I have four CPUs on this one. Um, let's see what I have here. Yeah, so I have four CPUs, so I can have two machines on here. If I want to, the more CPUs, the better. The more CPUs you can allocate, right? So I can give it one or two or whatever. Doesn't matter. This is actually my template machine, so I don't care. Um, what happened? Oh, okay. Let's create it again. I saved that. Okay, it's fine. Let's just create it again. Again, simple. Uh, I'll, don't have to tell you exactly where that is, but again, it's there. So we're gonna do it here. We're gonna put it in our clone. and we are going to put it here. What did I name this? This one has to be named um, 1124H2, and this is our Canadian data center, or let's call this the US data, or Canadian data center, and then we'll create one for US, right? That's what I would do. I'm not going to create one for both, but I'm just going to show you how to create it, and I'm just going to put today's date again. Your machines should be, you know, named after what you want it to name. Don't copy my names. Um, you know, I give it I give it a name that I want it to give. So it doesn't have to be exactly the same, but you can follow the same nomenclature, sort of like what I did, or just do W11 2H2 24H2, whatever you want it to be. It doesn't matter. Whatever you want to call it, you can give it your company name, and whatever you want to call it, right? So just make note of that, right? I like to make it so that I understand what it is. Again, but if you're following along, make sure you put the date and your name at least, so I know that you did it when you're sharing information. So we're gonna hit OK on that, and I'm going to copy this path, and I'm gonna give it the virtual machine name here, right? Architecture 64. I'm gonna generate a new code again. Next. And we're back to our drawing board here. Again, I don't care. I can give it 150. It doesn't matter. Here, I'll give it 150 because that's what they should have. Should be a light machine. And remember, when you're creating this machines, again, our minimum, you need that um, four core processors, right? Right, to create various machines, or a core, right? You need that specific you need to have that specific requirements. You need at least eight. Your laptop has to have at least quad core processors, which is four core. You need at least 100 GB of free space, and you need a Windows 10 or 11 operating system. Okay, if you don't know, use the DX diag or the system information to figure that out. So back to our let's go back to our machine. So we are going to use 150 again, whatever your system can handle, right? Go ahead and purchase a external hard drive, or do not use OneDrive. Please do not use OneDrive. You can make a copy of it if you want. It's up to you, but do not use OneDrive. Do not save the files onto OneDrive. I would save it to an external drive or an extra drive based on the disk management that you have, right? So remember that is very, 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 very important. Okay, so next, copy that. I'm going to do all files, not just the files needed to support TPM or encrypted, but all the files, right? Click next. And then we're going to, again, in production environment, you can use the stored disk, thick provisioning. A lot of companies do use that, but again, in this environment, we're going to use the split, because splitting the disk makes it easier to move virtual machine from another. If you have the resources, use those, store it as a single file, right? It'll grow, right? It's just a one single file that'll keep growing, right? At least this way we know it grows into multiple files. All right, let's get it 200. Just remember, if you are building a machine within a virtual machine, now we know that we need the space. So give this 500. I gave it 150. I made that mistake. I just wanted a light machine, and have enough memory. So you can have 32 GB of memory if you want, right? If you want, and then hit OK, right? So I'm giving it 32 GB. If I want to, I cancel because I'm not going to. Uh, but remember to shut your machines off. I'm showing you I'm doing it. I'm being a hypocrite by doing it. But again, remember to shut your machines off. Okay. And I think we had 20. So if we go back to our calculator, I think I had 20, right? So 1024 times 20, right? So 1 gigabyte equals 1024 megabytes. So we need 20,480. So we're gonna hit okay. All right. So I'm gonna go back, finish that. I don't need to customize it. Again, I can add VM net, make it custom on my virtual LAN environment, which will also provide internet for me for no particular reason, and then hit finish. Just ensure that we spoke about virtual LANs and virtual nets in prior classes. Just remember that all the machines must be on the same VLAN or VM net for them to communicate. So this is our bare metal machine, right? It's got no operating system, no OS, right? So within here, we're going to install Windows 11 24H2. So let's go ahead and do that. But before I do that, I want to give it some more RAM just because we're installing the operating system. And, well, shut that off. So power off. I didn't mount an ISO, so it's probably going to go to the BIOS, which is okay for now. Yeah, see, it's getting it through the air. That's fine. So I'm going to power this off. Shut down guest. Do not power off. We're pulling the plug if you're powering off. You want to shut down guest. Never want to power off. All right. And then I'm going to set the virtual machine settings. Again, my apologies. And I'm just going to give it 8 for now, just because we're testing it. Save the file. Oh, I also want to talk about the other requirements. I almost forgot about that, guys. My apologies. So, we are going to talk about the secure boot and TPM. Our storage, we gave it 200, 150 plus, right? So, or more GB, right? We need to enable secure boot, right? And ensure that the TPM chip is on and we have our display or graphics card ready to go. So, our display is on. Again, we need to enable the VMware net VMware tools as well too. So we're going to also install that once later on. We can install that now. We have to install that later. Our platform module is present. Perfect. Our share folder should always be enabled, right? We're going to enable that and we're going to add our um, shared folder drive here, applications 3. We're going to click next, call this file share. File server, right? And then enable the share, not read only. We're giving that attribute. We're not reading it. We need to copy and paste as well too. So always enabled. File shares on. Properties. We don't need to change anything. We're gonna hit OK. So before we hit OK, there are others. Yeah. So guess enable drag and drop. Enable copy and paste. Um, Advanced settings. We are going to, yeah, there we go. Enable secure boot. So we need to enable the secure boot and then hit OK. And we are going to here. So secure boot, right? Right. And then TPM we checked, displays OK. We should talked about the graphics and the share folders. It's going to act as a storage or shared disk or LUN. Okay. for now. So we can now power on the machine. But before we do that, we need to mount the CD DVD, which we downloaded. So we use the ISO image browse. We're gonna browse to our uh, Z drive, our applications, our Windows 11, and we're gonna touch this. We're gonna select Windows 11 24H2 and then hit open and then hit OK. Okay, so let's go ahead and power the machine on. And we're gonna click on a area here, and when it asks us to, okay, I missed that. Nikita boot. And we are off. And there we have it. Our commencing of Windows 11 24H2 has just started. So let's go ahead and uh, talk about the features and what the features entail. Uh, what we've create created our virtual machine with recommended um, hardware requirements. Then we mounted the ISO image to the CD DVD drive. And I'm going to take a picture of the settings here. Let's have a copy of that. Okay. Virtual machine settings are ready to go. Copy that. So, and then just wait. So it gets loading. It's good. Okay. So let's go ahead and wait here. Oh, there we go. So that looks good. Never mind later. So the language we are going to install is English. Time and currency is English. And we're gonna hit next. Very interactive. They changed a little bit of it. So we're going to choose US and we're gonna click next. Actually, we should go back and select the time and currency. That'd be Canada. Similar, so that's something different. That's not in one page. They separated it into two pages. Um, we're gonna click next. We're gonna keep the same changes there. So you want to install Windows 11. We're not gonna repair, and then you agree that everything will be deleted. That's okay. It's a new machine. It's a bare metal. So we'll install that. You don't have the product key, and this will go ahead and get a few things ready for you. In the meantime, what I want to do in the meantime is Um, in the meantime, I want to take the name of the file here. Okay, so here, you add file name extensions, right click, rename, copy, right? And then, so we're gonna choose Pro, right? And we're gonna hit next. And I'm going to open this up here and type this in, paste, and then hit OK. So this will, oh, I don't have a file there, so I have to copy that file there. Okay, that's why it's not working. So I have to take the path and copy it there. So let's copy that there. I think I removed it, so I'll have to put that back there and then delete it. So paste, or I could just take it from here and see if that works. Location. So we can also do that too. And then, right, copy, copy. If I can copy. So we're not going to create any partitions here or load any drivers. We're not going to extend anything. We're just going to use the allocated space, unallocated space, and then hit next. So a little bit different as to what the old systems used to look like. It's kind of cool. Do we need to check device specifications? Well, this just brings us to an email. Okay. And then we're just going to install. A little different than what we're used to seeing, but again, here it is. Um, ready to go. Um, that's right, get file hash, get file hash space, and it should get the file hash now, hopefully. It needs the commas, so spaces and stuff, so I'll probably have to do that. It does not exist. Okay, so we'll just have to go back and wait for this to work here. Okay, so let's go to downloads, and there it is. This PC, C drive, users, admin, downloads, right? And then right click, and then scroll down, Control A, Control X. Uh, Paste, enter. So this will give us the hash information. Oh, okay. Yeah, so this will give us the output. So we'll verify that. So this will verify the data integrity of the download, right? So this will tell us the correct um, hash number, hopefully. We'll wait for that to complete, right? After that, so we're looking for English. So this would be our hash file. So, right, English right here, 64-bit. So B5, 6B, yeah, ends in 0B11. Let's see. Doesn't have a full one. But you guys kind of get the gist of it. It looks pretty straightforward. Um, doesn't have the full, but again, the hash is there. It's ready to go. So again, that's very, very, very important. Um, right, and we can use this website to tell um, to verify the integrity. Where is that? Okay, so right there. So they'll verify the integrity, which is what we did, and we did that. And black here. Okay, so that's the integrity of it. That was the file, right? Well, we know that, so that's good. And I think we should also, that's 21%. I want to take this website here and send it to you guys so you guys have that. If not, I'll just post it in our YouTube video channel. Yeah, there you go. So we got that too. So that'll have all the information that I need. Um, and what else do I need? Um, that's cool. That's that. And I also wanted to scroll down and take this here for you guys and kind of make sure that you guys read that part because that's going to be important for you um, when you're doing that. Right? So, all right, so we're going to make this a little bit bigger. All right, so that's readable for you guys. Again, um, I don't need this. So here you go. I'll highlight that and post that in red. I want to see this a little bit bigger here. So let's make this, put this up here, and I will post this in another slide. So it's a little bit bigger for you guys to read. Okay, so again, this was my path. Again, your path is different. Again, it's going to be your username down wherever you save it, your location. Just make sure you have that set properly. Locally, it looks like it didn't want to pick up the shared drive, so that's okay, not a problem. Not really important if we do or don't. Um, yeah, the file should be stored locally, right? Again, we could, uh, you know, what do we say here, right? So maybe we do this instead. Um, right? If that works, does that work? No, see, it doesn't matter. So there's a positional parameter that cannot be found. Um, does it have to be in quotes? Let's see. Put these in quotes. No, actually, it didn't want it in quotes last time because there were no spaces over here, right? So maybe we might want to put quotes. That probably may have given us the error, thrown us the error last time. Let's go ahead and see what happens. Yeah, I see. So it's not a path that I want to take. I have to find the correct um, or just C drive maybe. Let's try just Z drive. See what happens. Maybe it didn't want to pick it up, but it looks like it just picks up the hard disk. That's okay. That's okay. Again, you can try this on your own time, right? If it works, it works. It's great. At least we tried, and Again, this is how I did it, and you know that's how you get the hash number. So we know that that is an English 64-bit architecture file. So we're downloading that properly. So right now we're at 50%. So we are going to um, wait for this to finish. Put you on a quick hold, and I'll be right back. So again, as you can see, BQB is okay. So still at 60%, so that's not bad. Again, this might take half an hour or so. So already I'll speed it up a little bit. So it looks like the machine is finished. Still installing it. Looks like it's still installing. Should take a little bit of time. Um, so there are some new things, some changes that we can take a look at. Um, so you guys can take a look at that. Check a little bit of updates, look at some information, all the features and fixes. So, so while we're waiting, we're looking at the Windows version 24H2 feature updates for Windows 11, which includes all the features. I'll give you the link for you guys to take a look at. You know, read up on what this is and devices that are running this. Um, yeah, and this is all available through the server updates, the WSUS, which includes configuration manager, SCCM or sorry MECM, and then we have our Windows Update for Business and volume licensing services. So if you want to get the update, just click on these links. Um, if you want to review blog posts to discover more information about deployment resources such as the WADK, Windows WDDK, which is probably there, and then features no longer temporary and enterprise control, no longer under temporary enterprise control. So there's some good reads here. You guys can take a look at that. Um, Also talks about SMB protocol changes. I might do a video on this. SMBs, Samba, and TLM blocking exception list. I'll have to talk about this so you guys know what that is. Um, but let's see this. So this is the Windows 11 update release cycle information. The different OOB out of band releases, again for updates, um, different security patches. Good read for you guys. Going to send that over to you guys. Um, so that's a good read. Well, again, you're more than welcome to read that. Look at the different overviews. Um, you know, then we also have some modules you can read up on. Course 101 training helps education leaders understand why and how use Windows 11, Windows 11 SE. Other documentation that's important here. If you decide to take the Endpoint Administrator Association course, please feel free to do so. Oh, look at that, eh? So customized desktop experience, using Power Automate for desktops, which allows us to create flows. It's another application. I think I showed you guys when I created the developer lab image. Prep the developer image and different widgets that are open, different desktops. So here's some information. Uh, Windows 10 apps also work on Windows 11. App Assure is also there if there's some issues. Um, you can read up on this stuff. The Edge browsing, deployment and servicing, how to install Windows 11, same methods. Windows Autopilot for Intune, ways to install Windows 11. For anybody who's asked me, uh, here's some information about that. Get to read, guys. Please take a look at it. Um, Again, documentation, very, very important. Um, right, when you're learning, right, the different modules that are out there that help you empower and learn, right? Benefits of Windows 11, productivity features, etc., etc. So if you guys want to learn that, training modules, Windows 11 101, source recommendations, take the course, complete the modules, the 15 units, um, and browse the different careers, paths, and courses. So if you just want a course, again, different courses that are available for you to take. Okay. And again, if you are interested in a specific course or you have some insight of what you want to learn, please feel free to give me a ping on WhatsApp or email me and let me know what you're interested in. I do offer one-to-one courses. Also offer group courses. Um, Again, call me for pricing. Um, if you work somewhere in your company, um, wants your department or you and your colleagues to learn into, let me know, and I will, you know, create a course for that. I'll be right back. In the middle of completing the installation, um, as we patiently wait. Install it. Oh, there we go. We'll have to install VMware tools. We don't, but we'll see. Oh, very exciting. Okay. Oh, look at that. That's great. So we're finally here at the experience, out of box experience. Okay. Right, so we're gonna choose Canada. Click yes. If you're in the States, click yes. If you're in the other country, click yes. Make sure you select the country code that you're in. So very similar to their versions. All right, we're gonna just select yes. We're gonna skip that. We don't have a second layout where we're a different language, like French or Indian or European or African or whatever language, we would add that secondary language. Keyboard. It's great. Some keyboard options. check updates. We're gonna skip uh, putting in a name for now. We don't need to name that now. All right, and this is going to be our not personal use, but worker school. Click next. You can join this to Enter ID or your local uh, or hybrid Enter ID. It's up to you. I'm going to use sign in options. We're not going to, I can sign in with my worker school account if I want to, right? And then, or I can just sign in and make this local first machine and then join it to the domain, right? Which is what we normally want to do. Um, give us, give myself the Toronto admin name, C admin name, click next, and then pick your password. So your first name, season, month, and year. And confirm that. Yeah, it's typically easier to join this to the domain. Going to stop sharing here. Second. Third option. Share. So So in this instance, we are going to um, select the settings that Microsoft and apps would use their location. Again, as a virtual machine, doesn't matter. So we're just going to say no. We don't want that. We need to manage that. Um, find my device. Really, we're not going to lose it. Microsoft won't be able to help you track your device if we lose it. Okay. There's third-party apps for that. We're going to include the required diagnostics data to help us keep them for them to keep troubleshooting. But you're more welcome to learn. So similar to the old. If we have a pilot and a touch screen where we can use the pen, we say yes, and it says this we don't. So we're going to say no for this image. And no for ads and tips. I don't want them. Learn more if you want to read more. Advertising ID. Nope. Don't want advertising ID. This has to be a clean machine. This is going to be our golden 24H2 machine. for updates. Finishing up here. Hopefully we're able to log in and install VMware tools. There's the introduction, which is like Windows 10. This is out of the box experience right now. Uh, I'm going to um, so um, install VMware tools on Windows 11. So it's pretty easy. Um, Again, just gonna right click on the machine and install VMware tools. That'll mount the guest additions and um, from VMware tools and all the drivers that it needs in order for it to communicate properly. Um, Again, just introduction to it. Once we've logged in, I'm going to run this and then install this and then reboot the machine. All right, guys, there you have it. Windows 11 now installed. Perfect. We have internet. Um, you should be able to browse. And then now also mount the installation tools. Perfect. That's what I wanted. I'll come up shortly. It's pretty cool. Not bad so far. Nothing out of the ordinary. Very nice. And run our scans if we want. There you have it. So that's all good to go. Um, start with update. I'll continue. Start with update. Do allow. Start confirming. Right. And yeah, so we will have to go to this PC and then we will download. Double click. Our VMware tools. And then click yes. Install the drivers. So once we install the drivers, we are ready to go. I don't have any modifications on this one. I'm just showing you guys how to do it. Please feel free to watch other videos to, make your own modifications as to how to do that and stuff. But we'll be using this machine for a while now and see what we can come up with. And if there's any changes, um, I'll let you guys know. But it looks pretty good so far. Nothing out of the ordinary, nothing spectacular. Looks straightforward. Um, a lot of new colors. Copilot is obviously added in this version. Um, you know, start menu, settings. Again, we can add this to Entra ID. Got a little bit of a Chromebook look, the centerization of it. Um, I'm not going to run any updates, but again, to activate the Windows, you have to personalize your PC, right? So, um, again, nothing, nothing important right now. Um, looks pretty good. Local accounts ready to go, and Again, with the licensing through, we can activate the licensing here with the subscription that you purchase, so your E3 or E5, and that would automatically um, activate the product for you. This is a trial base, uh, so nothing new. The VMware tools to finish. That's it. Done. Yep. Um, what's going on here? Did it install? Did it not install? Um, oh, there we go. It's installing. Okay. So that is the up-to-date version of it. It's probably the latest. We can install complete. Hit next. This will automatically auto update. Good. Okay. So that's good to go. Um, okay. Okay. See changes. All right. So, uh, VMware Tools is installing. the necessary drivers and components. Drivers. If it doesn't work, you can install it manually by typing in packages.vmware.com/tools, right? But that's the site for that. To the or or you can go uh, on Broadcom's website and download the driver packages for the. I have a video on that for Broadcom's website. You can download that again, or you can use the site here and go to releases, right, and then download the latest version, right, and then go to Windows, 64-bit, and then type in the ESXi. I mean the exe file that you need. Right? So again, you could do that or that. Once that's installed, uh, we'll restart the computer, and then that's it for now. That's all for this video. So I'm going to um, get ready to close this down with you guys and appreciate um, you guys following along and hope this was very informative as we install Windows 11 24H2. I want you guys to look at the different features and troubleshoot them yourselves and take a look at the different features there. There's nothing over the top that we need to discuss, but again, it's very easy, very straightforward. A little bit of a difference in terms of how it looks, but um, there you have it, guys. 24H2 ready to go, installed fresh with Sal from in product in production by INC2. Again, thank you very much. I will say thanks again and all the best, guys. Happy testing.